Hi guys, my name is Jordan Turner, and today I'm going to talk to you guys about publishing a book. So you've written a masterpiece. What do you do now? Well, you publish it, of course, but that's not as easy as you might think. Isn't it going to cost a lot of money? I mean, if you publish your own book, you got to pay for it, right? The money's got to come from somewhere. Or if you want to get published by a actual firm, you've got to get your book in, get accepted, and so forth. But it doesn't have to cost a lot of money, and I can tell you how. As Mark Levin, author of The Fine Print of Self-Publishing, points out, there are many affordable options available for authors looking to get published. Today I'd like to explain some of those options to you and also hit on a few things to watch out for when you're publishing a book. First, let's look at two common avenues of getting published, or self-publishing. The two main avenues of getting published are the traditional route where you get published by a book company, so you have to submit your manuscript, get it approved, go through the editing process, and actually get them to publish your book. And the other method being self-publishing, where either you go to a print shop, run off a whole bunch of copies and keep them in your basement, which is going to cost you a lot of money because you've got to pay to get all that stuff printed, or you go through a self-publishing company, which will help you with the editing, getting your copyright, your ISBN number, and all that stuff. Now, with traditional book publishing, they're actually doing that less now. Traditional book companies are accepting less new authors every year. PublishingCentral.com just published the article in the last few years of how since 2005 it's been steadily going down as to how many new authors are actually being published, even though the submission numbers are not going down. So you've still got a ton of people submitting books to be published, but you've got less people actually publishing they're actually getting published. And one of those reasons is a lot of these companies don't actually look at your book unless you are A, already a published author, or B, you have an agent who's pushing for you. So you need somebody pushing for you, putting your name out there. Well, agents don't want to deal with somebody who's not already published. So you're stuck in a cycle. You're stuck in a loop trying to get your book published when there's neither person wants to deal with you because you're not already published or you don't already have your foot in the door. And so if you don't have somebody to help your name stick out in that big mass of manuscripts that are flooding in, then it's hard to get your foot in that door. So this is why self-publishing is on the rise. Going through a self-publishing company or just going out and publishing it yourself. Now, the self-publishing industry is linked closely to the POD industry, and POD is print on demand. So meaning you're working with a company and you have your manuscript on file. Instead of paying to have a whole bunch of them printed up at once, somebody orders your book, wants a copy of your book, they just print it out then, and you're good. And it's a more cost-efficient way of doing it. Self-publishing also can give you a way to get traditionally published, because if you get self-published and your book does well, the traditional publishers and agents will come to you because now you have that experience of being published and promoting your book and so forth. And also with self-publishing companies, you usually can get them to help you provide your ISBN number, help you do a price point, do a cover, editing, and getting your manuscript to fit into the guidelines of a lot of book companies. Since we've seen that self-publishing is probably going to be the simplest way to get this masterpiece that everyone's created out to the rest of the world, let's take a closer look at a few of the self-publishing companies. CreateSpace is a self-publishing company. CreateSpace is one of the companies that will let you produce your book for a very low cost. It can be tricky because it's very low cost to do if you're coming in with your own cover design, or if you're only getting a few copies, or there are several different packages and they range in value. You can start with, if you have your cover done and you're going to do all your editing and your formatting yourself, you can put almost zero into getting it published and just be paying for the actual books being published. Whereas if you need help getting your cover set, you need to get it edited, you need sizing, you need a whole lot of steps. Everything you need makes your price point go up. Excuse me. And they're also, as usual, like most self-publishing companies, they're a POD company, so they're going to publish on demand, and they'll also link your book with online sites. So they can help you set up a website to sell your book through, which usually lowers your overhead costs, so it's going to be cheaper to put your book out. And they also set you up with Amazon.com, which, as we know, is a great site to people buy textbooks, people buy all kinds of books and all kinds of things off of Amazon. So having your book on Amazon is a great place for it. BookLocker is another one of these companies. It has most of the same features that CreateSpace does, but it also has another cheap feature. It has a feature where you can put your book onto the Nook Bookstore and the Apple Bookstore, and you don't publish your book at all. It just is published to those e-reading companies, and that runs around just $99, which is not that bad for publishing a book, and then you've got it all out there for the world, and you can start to receive your royalties. And the last company I wanted to look at was eBookTime. And they are a no-fuss, no-muss company. You send them the manuscript, you send your money, and they do their work. They sell the book online. The book is pretty much just online, and it's POD, like most of these companies. But they also are, the author gets 5 free copies. So, you want to give a copy out to family and friends and stuff. You don't have to pay for the first 5 that you get. You're going to pay for them at a discounted rate after that. Now that we know a few companies that might publish our masterpiece, we should know what we need to look out for so that we don't get scammed and we don't put a whole bunch of money in to and not actually get what we want. Know what the companies offer up front. Some of these companies are not going to edit your book. Some of them are not going to format your book. So you're going to put something out that's not going to sell and you're just wasting your money. Know what the copyright is, because you need to know if you need to get your copyright or if the company's going to get your copyright and your ISBN and all the things it takes to build your book. And you need to know what happens if you cancel your policy. Do you get to keep all the rights and everything that they put in? If they did the cover work for you, is the cover work now your property, or do they keep the cover work when you cancel your policy with them? Know how long it is that you have to before you can cancel, or how much notice you need. Some companies it's 24 hours notice with an email. Some of them it takes a couple months, with letters and phone calls to get the policy canceled and get all your information back. So and know whether or not they have the open policy. Know whether or not they'll let you publish your book and also publish it through a traditional company later. If the traditional company shows interest in your book, know if they'll let you publish it later. Conclusion. So let me finish this by saying, if you have story information you want to share with the world, go ahead and just get it out there. And self-publishing is going to be the way to go. Thank you so much for your time.